Welcome to Terminal Tuesdays, everyone. This is the first ever episode that we are doing in the Terminal Collective Discord. In this series, we are hosting a one person from the community and just learning about their setup. I am your host, Orhun. I work on Ratatouille. I'm joined with my co-host, Coco, and we have a very special guest today. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Dolev, better known as dlvhdr on GitHub. I'm an open source maintainer of a popular tool, TUI, called GH-, which is basically a terminal UI for GitHub. And I have several other tools. That's basically where the community knows me from. Happy to elaborate.
Awesome. So what have you prepared to show us today? Can you walk us through what we're going to see from your setup?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I try to do as much as possible in the terminal for various reasons, but I'm going to show you how I use the terminal, how I use tmux, and how I use the various tools that I've built, Neovim, and various macOS workflows that I have. Yeah, that's basically it.
Cool. You can just start from somewhere if you want. You can show us your editor, your terminal tmux setup, or however you want. Just go ahead. We are all here. And feel free to use the chat to ask questions, everybody.
Cool. So basically, this is my terminal. It's called Ghostty. Basically, I use the terminal with tmux, which is a terminal multiplexer. It allows me to create panes and windows and sessions. And I've customized it in a way that allows me to quickly use command key bindings. I do use tmux, but I use it without a prefix key. Basically, I have like a key binding in Ghostty that map, for example, command O to this is the prefix. This is the key code for control A, my prefix, and U. So basically, I use Ghostty and tmux in a way that mimics other applications on macOS, and yeah, that's very intuitive for me. So everything is command driven. So for example, if I'm here on the GH- session, I can just do command L, which is clear for me. I usually have my terminal at window number 1 on tmux. And feel free to stop me whenever you feel like. Window number 2 is usually my editor, which is Neovim. And then I have various other terminal applications on the next windows, which is basically LazyGit. And I can hit Q to quit out of it and hit Command G to open a new LazyGit window again. So then I can like push changes real quick and then get out of LazyGit. And then my workflow continues onto GitHub, which is Command-Shift-G. So LazyGit is Command-G. And GH-, the TUI that I built is Command-Shift-G. And then I can see the pull request that I've just pushed to. And then it continues on to another tool that I've built called Enhance, which is a TUI for GitHub Actions. Allows me to, I see that some checks have failed here. I can hit T to go and see which checks have failed, but because I've just pushed, these actions are running still. And I can see like the build has failed. I can see what happened. And yeah, that's like the rough skeleton of how I work. And you can ask questions and then, yeah, we can continue from there.
That was pretty cool. Especially the Enhance one.
Yeah, because of the animations.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Yeah, thank you.
And this is Go, right? You built this with Go?
Yeah. I started writing TUIs in Go because I wrote some Go in my previous job, and then starting a TUI library in a language I'm familiar with was the easiest thing to do. So yeah, this is all based on bubble tea.
Yeah, GOM and stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Everything based by Charm, basically. And glued around the GitHub API, which is pretty. It's not the best,
Yeah, I mean,
but Yeah. And then I usually like go around different projects and stuff throughout the day. So if I wanna, for example, change something in my Dotfiles, I have this pop-up called Sesh by a guy named Josh Medeski, which allows me to switch between the tmux sessions. So I can quickly like jump between the different sessions that I have. So I usually like reference LazyGit for stuff in my own TUI development, so I can copy stuff from them or understand how they did some stuff, or Crush, which is another TUI from the guys over at Charm. And then I have like a few key bindings which are kind of crucial, which is basically I say that everything is command bound. So if I do command 1, 2, or 3, I can quickly switch between the terminal and Neovim, or command, I think it's backtick, to switch between the last 2 sessions. So I'm usually pretty quick about it. Yeah, what else? Like the prompt here is called Starship. It's pretty minimal. And I have some Git integration here to know if I need to pull or push. Yeah, I think terminal-wise, I can also show you how my Neovim setup works, but yeah, feel free to ask questions and guide me if you want to know about something.
Do you have a Dotfiles repo that you can share?
Oh yeah, I have Dotfiles is under dlvhdr/Dotfiles. Yeah.
Great.
So I try to push here, not the best commit messages, but I push here pretty regularly.
How do you manage the
And you have
Dotfiles?
So I'm using basically I have this setup script, which is pretty basic. Where is it? I think under scripts setup, and it's very simple. It just symlinks a bunch of directories from my every time you see a call to link, it basically creates a symlink between, for example, the .config directory here and the .config where in my home directory where everything is expected to be, basically. So there's a bunch of link calls here, and also, yeah, there's a brew file somewhere here that lists all the homebrew things that I install when I set up a new computer. I've gone through the rabbit hole of using Nix, for example, or Bear repos, but I basically ended up with this simple script. I think for me it works the best.
I saw that you also had I mean, you sent me an article regarding your setup on your blog, I think.
Yeah, I have a blog. It's under my personal site, but it's from 2022. I really need to update it.
Yeah, I saw
love
there was some difference with your dot files.
Yeah, I've in 2024, I think I went the Nix rabbit hole, and this year I've gone back to a regular setup. But in 2022, I was still basically using a script. But yeah, Cron, for example, this calendar was bought by Notion. I'm still using it, but my window manager is still Amethyst, and I use it in kind of a way that there's always one window focused that takes up the whole screen. For me, it's very hard to concentrate on multiple screen at a time. But so this GIF that I'm showing here with the multiple panes, I never use it in this tiling form. I basically just have a key binding called that is option based. So I do option I, it's the terminal, and option C is the browser, for example, and option P is the calendar. So that's how I jump between them pretty quickly. So I don't have any context switch. I can just think what I want to do. Hit Command I, for example, if it's the terminal, and start typing whatever. Or do like Command Tab if it's the last one. Just like my tmux session where I have a Command Tab between sessions or between windows. So it's kind of similar that way. Yeah, my Neovim setup is basically I have my own Dotfiles, my own version of Neovim. So it's not like a distro.
Okay.
And I've been maintaining it since, I think, Neovim 0.5 or something like that. I have a bunch of mini plugins that, like, for example, this is one of them, the mini files plugin that allows me to treat my file directory as a regular Neovim buffer, so I can basically copy and paste files and it will create them, or delete a row and it will delete the file. And I really like it because it's pretty minimal. It gets out of the way. Another plugin that I have is FF Files, which is basically a file picker, fuzzy finder on files that I really like. It's very fast. It's based off of what you most recently accessed, what's tracked by Git, etc. It's got a bunch of heuristics around that. What else? I have like a bunch of folky plugins, of course, like the grep or functions that I like to use to go to different functions, or my open buffers, stuff like that. Yeah, I have the whole debugger setup pretty well, so I can connect to, at work I develop on Node services, so I can debug things very easily. Inside Neovim, everything is like keyboard based. Let's see if I have anything else that's interesting. Yeah, so everything is my Dotfiles repo, but basically I have a whole lot of plugins installed. Yeah, but these are the main ones. I have a few plugins that I actually wrote myself. I think I'm using only one of them. Yeah, I have this one that is also around GitHub that shows me if there's a PR that let's go to a repo with actual PRs and not my dot files. But I can do leader space, and it opens up the last PR that touched this line, and then I can see whatever the title was, hit GX and open up the plugin in the pull request in GitHub. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty cool. One of the listeners that's joined in actually contributes a lot of code to GH- and shout out to him, slideshowbarker.
Oh yeah, he asked a few questions in the chat. I was planning to.
Oh, cool.
Have them. I think he mentioned. So he said maybe you could also show how you can launch Octo on some PR.
Oh yeah, I have like my GH- is configured on a per repo level. So if I'm working on GH-, I have like only these three sections. These are my PRs that have been like created in the last 3 weeks, but I can also go to the review tab and, for example, review one of his PRs. And then I've set up a custom keybind, which you can do to do a code review. Then I can press Shift O, and it opens it up in a plugin called octo.nvim for code reviews. I can read up the summary and do leader O for all my octo keybinds, and then R for review and S for start. It basically loads up the all the changes that he made. I can go over them. I can leave some comments. I think these are all not very interesting, but let's go over. Yeah, I can do a leader OCA, O for octo, C comment, A add, and then I can write a bunch of stuff. I don't know what to write. Just save the buffer as a regular buffer, and it's already synced to GitHub that it's a pending message, comment. And then I can do letter O, S for submit. Yeah. Oh, no. I forgot what it was. Letter O, R. Okay. I usually just do like this. Yeah. Thanks for creating the PR, whatever. Just hit Control M for commenting or Control A for approving. And then I can close out this window, go back to GH-, refresh the page here. And you can see the PR is now at the topmost, which means it has the most recent activity. And you can see my comment here. I can press O to go to GitHub to see the actual comment here on which line it was. As you can see, there are still some gaps between GitHub, the site, and GH-, for example. But I can also press D for launching another tool that I wrote called diffnav, which is a Git diff pager that shows me basically Delta, which is a Git diff pager, and a file tree on the left. And I can see the changes that he made right here, not on GitHub. And yeah, there are a lot of plans for the future for this whole GitHub integration, for example, seeing comments in the context of the code and everything else. Yeah.
So you don't use the browser much for GitHub.
Yeah, there are still gaps. There will always be gaps. For example, I usually can't remember the username of the teammates that I work with because they have very convoluted usernames. So I
Okay.
sometimes go to GitHub to find that out. Everything can be solved. Like I can write a feature for everything, but GitHub will always be like the source of truth. So I do go to GitHub quite a lot, but it's diminishing over time. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm in GitHub, I also use my keyboard. For example, I have Vimium.
I see Vimium,
installed.
yeah.
Yeah. So I usually don't reach for my mouse.
That's the way.
But even my mouse is like a trackball that's very close to my
okay,
fingers.
so
Yeah. So everything is very minimal movement. Yeah.
Any specific setup for Vimium or just use the default?
I've disabled a lot of stuff that I don't like. For example, I know there's the omnibar for searching your history, but I don't use it very much. Yeah, other than that, it's pretty standard. Yeah, disabled Vimium on a bunch of sites. Some mapping changes, not a whole lot. Unmapping some stuff. Yeah, that's basically it. This is also in my Dotfiles, like the Vimium settings.
That's cool.
Yeah, so usually if I work on a repo, like if I go to work, I fire up the monorepo for our company, work on that, go back home, usually switch to one of my project sessions and continue from there. For all the like I have clipboard history, of course. A lot of us use that, which is bound to a global hotkey, Command Shift Y for yank. So yes, that's a lot. You can see whatever I copied here. I have some snippets in Command Shift Y. So that's also something that I use a lot. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's see if I forgot something.
Yeah, so we're getting a lot of questions in the chat. So maybe we can start answering some. There is one from Gold, Silver, Copper. Maybe off topic, but I see you use Aerospace for tiling window manager on macOS. Any reason you choose it over Yabai or Amethyst?
Oh right, it's called Aerospace. I used to use Amethyst, but
yeah, that's what I was wondering because you told me you were using Aerospace. Yeah, go on.
I have no idea what I'm using. Yeah, basically, Yabai at the time was kind of janky and it required disabling SIP. But I think you can make it work. And also, Yabai used I think macOS workspaces. And then macOS has this annoying animation when going between them. That is this one, and you can disable this SIP, whatever is I don't know what it stands for, but it's like a security feature on macOS that allows you to switch things to switch workspaces instantly. But I didn't want to, like I can't. This is my company's laptop. Or you can disable animations in macOS, but it's still kind of slow. And Amethyst, Aerospace works around it by basically, you see where my mouse is, it crams all of the windows in the bottom right corner. That way they're on the same workspace, so switching is instant. And Amethyst, I can't remember why I switched off of it, but basically, yeah, every time I have like a bunch of hooks in Aerospace that every time I open like my terminal, it goes to the I workspace, which is like not a macOS workspace, it's like a Aerospace thing. And that allows me to make sure that the I workspace always has one window open and it's the terminal, and no other window interrupts it or takes away space from it. Because as I said, I can't concentrate on multiple windows at a time. So I can, I don't know, create like a new Ghostty window and do some tiling work, but it's very rare that I do that. Maybe when I work on my blog, I need to see like the markdown of whatever I'm writing and my site as a live server, but it's very rare. Yeah.
Do you still use zoxide? Because it was written on your article, I think.
Yeah, I do use zoxide. So I can go to my Dotfiles pretty quickly, or I have some aliases around. Going back to the last, yeah. I just do dash, and it's like a cd dash, which is go to the last directory we're on, stuff like that. Yeah, zoxide is super useful. I also have like a controller, which is a finder on the history. That's atuin, I think it's called.
Atuin, yep.
Yeah, atuin. You can see my most used calls, which I highly doubt, but maybe. Because I usually develop task is like modern makefile, also written in Go by one of the guys that works at Charm, I think. But
is it like
usually
or
exactly like just. Okay. So if I'm in GH I use task debug, which is like one of the commands that I've defined. Debug run in debug mode runs, so it runs GHDev in debug mode, so I can do like task debug. Open up another pane here in tmux, do task logs or something, and then I can see the logs of whatever my GHDev is doing. So I can see I pressed P, it logs it, and then I can debug issues and stuff like that. So it makes sense that task is the most used one, because I usually that's how I iterate when working on my on my stuff. I use task debug, check if I fixed it yet, go out, change some code, and do another task debug to understand if it's fixed already or not. That's usually how I work. And I can zoom in on one pane if I want to, or search with Command F in tmux, see if something was called or not, stuff like that.
Slideshow wants to speak. Guess we can bring him in.
Yeah.
Slideshow, are you here? Yeah.
I am here.
Here.
Oh, great hearing you.
Yeah, sorry, I had to. I'd never given permission to Discord to use my mic, so I had to restart. But what I wanted to say is, I think what Dolev has shown here pretty well is how effectively you can, using his tools and some others, how effectively you can work from your normal terminal context where you're doing all your coding without needing to use the GitHub UI.
Yeah.
And I don't know about y'all, but if you have to do a lot of reviews, both to do reviews of other people's code, but also to get reviews of your own code, if you try to use the GitHub UI these days for a review that's extensive, like I contribute to WebKit, and some of my WebKit reviews are literally just dozens. Like I think the last one was like 130 review comments, and if you try to do that in the GitHub UI, it's just painful, frustrating, maddening.
Yeah.
And it's gotten worse. They came up. The new thing is like the new experience. They've actually like regressed the behavior, and so if you're reaching that point of frustration, trying to get stuff done, the stuff that Dolev has put together, especially GH-, it will make your life much easier. And it's not just Dash itself, but because of the ability to do custom key bindings for actions in your setup, your config for Dash, you can launch all kinds of stuff all over the place. Like Dolev showed that, how he's launching into Octo, which Octo is a whole nother universe itself right there. Like, I mean, if you've never used Octo, one of the things that'll blow your mind is when you launch Octo on a PR, what you have is a buffer that shows the PR contents, and the entire buffer is editable. Like, you don't have to go in, you don't have to do anything from the GitHub UI to add a comment, to edit any of your comments. Of course, you can edit other people's stuff, but anything that you would normally be able to access to write and change comments and fields in the PR, you can do that from Octo, and you can launch Octo from GH-. But somebody in our Dash Discord posted a link to this other guy's videos. Omer Hammerman has a channel called DevOps Toolbox, and he did a video the other day about GH-, and it's just very cool what he shows, because he shows not just launching into your text editor, but launching into open code. Or I mean, you could do with anything. You could, if you're using Claude Code or whatever the other ones are that are around, you can launch one of those coding agents on your stuff. And this, I mean, we say this maybe too much, but about certain tools, but I would say like this integration of GH- with the ability to avoid using GitHub, it's like life changing. It will make your life a lot easier. So
I buy it.
Once you get used to how fast you're in the terminal, it's always fun to find new terminal UIs for tools you already use, because everything must be basically keyboard driven. So usually when you add mouse support to your terminal UI, it's usually as a second feature, not as a first class citizen. Like you usually start off by defining all the keybinds that are pretty intuitive across all terminal UIs. It's usually Vim based, so there is a learning curve, but they do share a lot of the behaviors. Like if I go to LazyGit, I can press L to move between the different panes. If I'm on GH-, it's also L and H. Everything is basically super snappy. If you have ever opened like a big diff in GitHub, you know how slow it can be, but terminals are like pretty much instant. It's only text with a few escape sequences to add some styling, but it's very lightweight. I can probably check, but GitHub probably takes 200 megabytes of RAM per tab. But I can't complain because I have a Mac with a lot of RAM, but yeah, GitHub is very bloated, basically. So I agree with Sideshow. Basically, I'm very curious about how other people have set up their terminal. There are probably a lot of tools that I'm missing on, or things we can build together, like the terminal community, to bring over even more tools to the terminal, do everything in a very snappy way with keybinds, use the web less and the terminal more, basically.
Absolutely. I have one question actually. What do you think about Jujutsu?
Oh, I haven't tried it. I heard a lot of good stuff about it.
I think it's rising in popularity, and it would be nice to. I mean, I think for everyone, it would be nice to experiment with it. Just give it a try and so on. I think I looked into it a year ago, and it was really like a different concept, and it makes you able to think in different ways in terms of version control. So yeah, definitely a nice thing to experiment. I think. Yeah, of course, you can maybe like integrate it into Dash one day if GitHub supports it, or like into your workflow. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I can add that I've worked at Facebook, now Meta. We used Mercurial there, and it had a lot of features that Git still doesn't have to this day. Basically, around stacked pull requests, so mainly around that. And I know that JJ has a lot better support for switching between branches or working on stuff simultaneously, because what stacked branches allow you to do is put a PR up for your team to review and continue to work on top of that branch with another PR, so you're not blocked by waiting to the review. And you can basically, at Meta, we had like a whole web app around the Mercurial that allowed you to merge all the stack of PRs that you've created. So if the feature you worked on was like 4 PRs, you can merge them all together. So they're broken down into more manageable PRs, but you can merge them at once, so the customer or whatever gets the whole feature at once, but you're not blocked for any moment. I know there are a lot of tools around stacked branches. There's Graphite, and I think Git Butler also came up with a CLI recently. I haven't checked them out, mainly because none of my team uses it, and it can be confusing. But also because there are so many tools and you don't have time to check them all out. But it's something that I really miss. And one of the reasons that I created GH Dash, basically. GH Dash is very similar to how the web app at Facebook was looked like. You had different customizable sections with filters. And unlike GitHub, where you have like, if you go to github.com/pools, you have like these hard-coded sections, and you can't see them all at once. You don't know what you need to take action on very quickly. So hopefully Jujutsu solves some of that issues, but I haven't taken a proper look at it.
Someone asking about your terminal shaders on the cursor movements. Do you have anything set up?
So that's a Ghostty shader. They only recently came out with that feature. But yeah, they have like instructions on their website on how to set it up. You basically need to download the shader file, which is like I don't know what this code even is. I don't know which language is it. But basically you download this file, there are a bunch of shaders in the Ghostty repo, and then you define it in your Ghostty config as the shader. Apart from being cool, I use it mainly because I jump around a lot and I need to quickly see where I came from. So it allows me to see like if I walk too fast, it allows me to better focus on what happened.
Yeah, I guess for presenting this sort of things is very useful, because if you end up like screen sharing to people who are not used to using the terminal, having the cursor animation when it moves around can help.
Exactly, yeah. I look like a magician at work, basically. No one.
Yeah.
There are very few people who are terminal centric in the workflow, and so they see this cursor trail and they think, how cool. But yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that you can also. I also like when you write big commands like whatever. You can press Control X, Control V in the shell that I use, which is fish, and quickly edit the command in Neovim. So
That's cool.
I don't know. And then run it. So it's very useful. So there's a bunch of like these small hacks that I have in my Dotfiles. So I probably can't remember them all.
I think you can do that. The editing of current command in your default editor. I know that the ZSH VI mode, which is not the default VI mode for ZSH, but it has support for this better Vim integration. And that's what I use to edit comments. Like I switch to Vim mode and the ZSH prompt and just do VV, and that switches me to Vim. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, you can also like inline edit with Vim. Like I can do DB or stuff like that. There's a Vim integration for or V, and then select a bunch of stuff and edit it like that. DD, whatever. All the Vim options are supported here. But if I need to have some extra, like my full editing experience, I can always go to Vim.
Yeah, because many times the Vim integration, they don't go the full length of having like the CI double quotes or stuff like this. It's
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's useful for like quickly doing stuff. But yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Cool. I'm probably gonna regret some stuff that I forgot, but
you can come back another time.
Oh yeah, I have this cool plugin for Neovim which shows a different ASCII art every time that I open Neovim. A lot of them are by Joanne Stark, JGS, which is like a famous ASCII artist.
I've seen it, I think. Yeah, I think
she has a site, or yeah, this is her site, which is crazy. But she has a lot of beautiful. A lot of beautiful ASCII art. Oh, those are actually tutorials. You can learn to. Yeah, I created some ASCII art for my, especially for Enhance, like this one and this one. But she has like crazy stuff. This game is like completely ASCII art based, and it looks super cool. It's pretty amazing. Do you know it? Do you know this one?
I think somebody shared I don't know if it was on this server, but like a 3D game rendering as ASCII in the browser. It was a different one, I think. But yeah, it's always fun to see those ASCII art games like nowadays. Definitely gotta check it out after. A lot of things to check out after, actually. Once we're gonna edit and post this, we'll share. I'll try to share as many links and projects that were mentioned in during this first session.
Thanks a lot, Dolev, for sharing your setup, man. It was, I think, pretty streamlined. I especially like the part where you shared how you manage the PRs and so on, because that's just sometimes painful to do if you're especially working on big projects. So I really enjoyed it, and yeah, thanks again for being here. Coco, any closing words?
No, you pretty much said everything. It was you really put the bar very high for a first session, but I hope people in the audience are not scared to share their setup in the next ones. There's always interesting things to see. So
yeah, I think like I can always take tidbits from other people. Like one of the contents that I like to watch the most is terminal setups of other people, or basically their setup, their dev setup. There's always something you can take from someone else, and I really encourage everyone to like optimize all the inconveniences away from their setup and explore what's possible. Yeah, that's it.
yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Cool, guys. Thank you.